The Syncretion of Polarization and Extremes. Part 40. Colombia. Between the Sky and the Earth. Looking for Love Transposing Emblem by Christian Escobar. In the life of every human being, there are moments of rupture, situations where we experience such intense emotions that our world is turned upside down. A few months ago, I turned 31 and, during the several weeks after my birthday celebration, I wondered about a lot of things. Where will my work take me? Where am I going to live? Will my beloved one stay by my side for a long time? But, among all those important questions, there was one that is still preoccupying my thoughts. Where can I find my true love? When I was younger, love was one of the topics I was more concerned about because I fell for the idea of loving someone, of experiencing those wonderful feelings I read about in the work of poets I admired. I had never had a romantic relationship, and I could not wait to have one. It was not until I was 21 that I had my first relationship, but when that moment finally arrived, it was not everything I had been expecting. I ran into jealousy, arguments, and anguish. After several years in relationships, I am still trying to answer that question because I really want to know if love is real. Our planet Earth is a vast place. It's so full of different landscapes, languages, cultures, that I cannot understand why sometimes we tend to become attached to certain aspects of our own culture, as if we cannot see beyond the end of our own nose. And I say this because I have experienced it myself. For a long time, I never thought about finding love outside the borders of my own country. I know this is not bad at all because we all have different needs, and even if the possibilities are infinite, our personal fulfillment can reside in those simple little things easily found in our everyday life. So, a big part of my quest for love has taken place here in Colombia. Yes, by the way, I'm from Colombia. So let me tell you a little bit about my country's cultural traits. Colombia is considered by many to be a magical land teeming with joyful and friendly people who are always willing to help you and share with you their passion for life. Some even say that Colombia is one of the happiest countries in the whole world. As I stated tacitly, most of my romantic partners have been Colombian women characterized by their warmth, expressiveness, and great emotional intensity. But despite living in what some people consider a wonderful place, I have always felt like a stranger in my own culture. There are some common aspects of Colombian behavior that I have never liked, and the funny thing is that I started noticing them more intensely, even in my own behavior, when I began to interact more with people from other countries, especially from Europe. For example, sometimes we can be quite relaxed about specific situations in which a different attitude would be more appropriate, and that sometimes leads us to be irresponsible. Moreover, a lot of Colombian people avoid being straightforward in order to not hurt other people's feelings, which can be very annoying if you just want a quick and honest answer. Now I try to avoid doing these things as much as I can. When it comes to romantic relationships, you can experience a wide range of behavior. On the one hand, Colombian women can be extremely amorous and caring, letting you know how much they love you and think about you in many different ways. My first girlfriend, the one I loved the most, used to take every chance to tell me how much she cared about me, and that made me feel important and loved. It was really beautiful. I experienced this several times with different Colombian women, even if it wasn't with the same intensity. On the other hand, they can become very possessive and sometimes may create very intense dramas out of nothing. For example, at one time, my first girlfriend broke up with me because she heard a random girl talking about how handsome I was. A bit extreme, right? Well, although it sounds incredible, I had other experiences similar to this one. Like that day when a girl I was dating got very angry at me because I told her I couldn't talk to her on the phone while I was having lunch. I think all these behaviors can be explained by a concept I call the soap opera culture. We tend to greatly amplify every emotion, both the good and the bad ones, as if we were living in a soap opera. So, it is possible that if a Colombian woman loves you a lot, she will give you some strong emotions that maybe you don't want, which can become a problem if you're as calm as me. And this is why I've always felt like I'm wandering between two extremes when I dated Colombian women. Some days I touch the sky, and some others I hit the ground. I know that this way of understanding and experiencing emotions is not a bad thing. It's just another way of feeling, living. As I stated earlier, everything depends on what we are looking for. I have some foreign friends who are married to Colombian women, and they seem very happy. And I'm glad to know that they have found what I'm still looking for. Have you ever experienced something similar within your culture? If the answer is yes, maybe what we wish for can only be found somewhere else, and sailing across this whole wide world could throw some light on it. At the end of the day, any decision leading us to happiness is a perfect one. We just need to make it.